friends, it's Mary and I'm back with another 12 by 12 layout process video. This week we are all focusing on this awesome sketch, and I have some soccer pictures I need to do. So what I decided to do was grab some coordinating papers that went with some of my son's scrapbooking supplies. Yes, my 8-year-old son scrapbooks as well. And he asked me to use up some of his supplies to make a soccer layout with all of his buddies on his last game so that he can remember who he played with. I think that because of me documenting all of these things that we have going on in our life right now, where we live and we're going to be moving, that it's inspiring Isaac to think about these things as well, and that's really, really cool. So I will be using his scrapbooking supplies, and I'm pulling out some of my papers to coordinate with that. And these are really, really old. I have no clue where they're from. All I know is that they're from my stash, and they were decent quality and they all worked. So I know that all went really fast, but the reason why I had to go so fast this time is because this is jam-packed with a lot of stuff. So basically what I did is I started off with that wood grain, and I added a really light gray chevron background to the top of that, sewed that down. I gut out the middle of the wood grain because I hoard wood grain like a banshee. Do banshees hoard? I don't even know why I said that. Anyway, I like wood grain a lot. That would probably be a better way to put it. And then I ran these 3 green papers through my silhouette and just did a basic hexagon. Okay, so now we're on to the good stuff. So I'm grabbing the Peas color from, I think it's like Peas Be Mine or something like that, from ACRI, and then I'm mixing it in with my gesso. I'm going to add a little bit more to make it more green, and I'm also going to add some yellow to bring in more of that yellowy green color, but it ends up looking more like the dark green color, which is fine, and I should have known that. And then I'm going to run this over the top of a stencil. It's a hexagon stencil that I had made. It's really easy to make your own stencils. All you need is transparency paper that you can, like when you were a kid and they used to have transparencies for the projector to do math problems on and whatnot in school. You can still get those at any office supply store, or you can get them from Amazon, which is where I get them. You can even get them to where they're printable now from your printer, and make your own acetate pieces. So really, really useful scrapbooking supply. I use it quite often for shaker pockets. I've used it for making my own stencils. And just make sure that if you have your own machine, to use a separate blade. I don't like mixing my blades between acetate, vinyl, and cardstock. I always have separate blades for each type of material that I'm using, because it dulls your blade differently than if you're using cardstock. Don't ask me why. I don't know the reason. All I know is that if I start cutting up on acetate and then go back to cardstock, it eats my paper big time. So, but it doesn't eat up the vinyl or the acetate. So anyway, now that I'm done with the stenciling mixed media portion, I really am loving how that's looking on the bottom there, and now I'm just lining up my hexagons, and this is just all going with that grid style that is off of the sketch. I'm eyeballing this for the most part, and now I'm going to bring in some of Isaac's pieces from his scrapbooking supplies. So anytime that I see something that I feel like this would relate to Isaac, I throw it in this box for him, and so I have a bunch of sports themed stuff for him to play with. And I usually pick these up at like Tuesday morning, or if I find a peachy cheap deal or something like that, then I'll pick it up for him, because I really want to inspire him to play along with this stuff as well, if he wants to scrapbook a memory or not. Okay, so in his supplies, he had a die cut pack from Recollections, Michael's brand, and in the die cut pack, there were huge die cut pieces, soccer pieces, and there were 4 soccer balls. And I used all 4 of them to make this shaker pocket. And this shaker pocket is like, or the shaker piece was, you're going to see in just a second. So I used glue and I put my acetate down on the, the underneath side of the soccer ball. And then I realized I need some dimension to pop it up a little bit. That way the sequins can actually move around inside the soccer ball. Now, if you're going to do this with your silhouette machine, find a soccer ball and then cut it out where you still have the, maybe the black parts of the soccer ball are missing. So when you cut it out, it'll look like this. And then cut out like 6 of them and then layer them up like I'm doing right here. So I cut out the innards of 2 of those soccer balls and then kept the other 2 whole, obviously, so that you can look through on the bottom and see the bottom one peeking out. It turned out really cool, but this was a pain in my butt. So I'm layering up the circle, and I have to match where because I didn't cut it completely up against the edge. I had to match where the middle pieces were cut out, otherwise you'd see it. So there you are. You see everything all put together. I just let it dry, and I just put a paper pad down and then my gesso on top of that. And that gave it a little bit of pressure to be able to hold it down enough to dry really well. So that went great. Now I'm taking some teeny tiny score tape. I think this is 1/8 of an inch thick, which was the perfect size for that. I'm going to add in the Hustle Bustle sequins, which are brand new. They were part of the huge new release that Jody did this month. Oh my goodness. If you guys have not seen the sequins, hop onto my Instagram account or go to SpiegelMom Scraps and look at them all because they're amazeballs. Seriously. And these wood grain, to die for. I am so happy that Jody ordered these. These wood grains were special request from the design team members. We saw them and we loved them, and Jody ordered them, and that's just how much she loves us. And I am so appreciative. So I'm adding in some of these wood grain sequins, and along with the greens and the stars. There's little stars in the Hustle Bustle mix, and this is a great mix for not just soccer, but she intended it for Christmas. So it's very versatile. And now I'm going to go ahead and add some score tape down to the bottom of this. And what I ended up cutting out was me ripping that off and moving it because I didn't need to fill up the left-hand side. But as you saw, I kind of struggled with lining up the soccer ball on top. It took me forever, you guys. I mean, I edited it out how long it took me, but it seriously took me forever to line up perfectly the hexagon in the middle. I don't know why it took me so long. So now I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut out this word team. I didn't like how much of the background paper it was covering up. The background paper has a lot of soccer sayings on it, so it'll say things like goal or run or score. And so I really loved how that looked, and I didn't want to cover up all of it. But I also liked how the team repeated 3 times looked. So I just trimmed off the edge around the first word team, and it turned out a lot better. Now this little roster sheet, this was a 4x6 Project Life card, and obviously too big for this little spot. So I just cut it down, and I don't end up writing the names in the little spots yet because I wanted to keep their names secret, I guess. They're kids, so I think that's the thing that you're supposed to do when you put kids online. So I will end up writing those down once I get home and get the layout done in my album. Right now I'm on the west side of the mountains visiting family, and we went through snow today. That was so much fun. It was like it's the first big snowstorm of the year in the past, and so it was really, really fun to drive over, and we stopped and got some pictures, so you'll probably see some scrapbooky pictures in the near future. Anyway, I grabbed this tag and put it on the right hand side. I loved how that brought the black and white down to the right. There's a little bit of black and white popping around the page, and I felt like it needed to be grounded on the right hand side of the picture. It also goes along with the sketch. I'm just going to adjust everything because you know that's what I do. Well, this will look a little bit better if it was 1 centimeter to the left. Nope. 1 centimeter to the top. Nope. 1 centimeter to the bottom. And of course, you know, I ripped that paper by moving everything around a million times. I don't even know if that's the last time I move it around. Probably. So now this is the next morning, and I let it sit overnight because I wanted to contemplate what to do next. I wanted tiny bits, and then I remembered, oh, I have these tiny wood veneer stars. And as I was pulling out the stars, I realized I had some wood veneer buttons. So I added some buttons and stars, and I don't end up showing you, you know, every place that I put them down until I go to glue them down. Because sometimes you want to see where I put things, and you don't necessarily want to watch the entire process, you know. I really enjoy watching people put down their tiny bits because it finishes off the layout so well, and I want to see their thought process behind how to scatter, if that makes any sense. I really enjoy watching like Kat Martin. She does the tiny bit thing movement like I do, and I enjoy watching her thought process behind all of that, and she explains it really well. I don't. I go with pure feeling. If it looks good and if it feels good, then it stays, and it doesn't stay until it feels good. So I'm adding some green vibes, and then I added some, oh my gosh, you guys, I felt like I cheated because I added some Heidi Swapp navy color shine. The green that I used was Kermit the Frog, right? Hermit the Frog green. It's a Vibes, SHIMMERZ Vibes, which you can get in the shop. And I'm going to add my little date stamp there with my Pebbles date stamp. I'm going to show you once again the sketch so that you can get a look at how I did. And then here's some close-ups. This was really fun to do. I really love sketch challenges and scrap lifting challenges because all of the guesswork is taken out for you. You know exactly what you need to do, where you need to put things down. It's in the finishing touches that you make it your own. And yeah, so you guys have fun playing with the sketch this week. And if you do, make sure to post it on the SpiegelMom Scraps website, or even tag me on Instagram or SpiegelMom Scraps on Instagram. We'd love to see what you did. Don't forget to use my code Mary15 to save 15% off in the store, and I'll check you guys later. Bye!